live on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's up in the actual X/Twitter space. Shout out to my people over there on YouTube as well, too, guys. Tonight we're going to be discussing the situation that transpired at the Grammys last night with rap star Killer Mike. We're going to be talking about the situation with Killer Mike. Killer Mike was arrested at the Grammys. We're going to also be talking about Fulton County DA Fani Willis and the situation going on with her, the relationship with her and Nathan Wade. So we're going to be touching up on a number. Well, not a number. We're going to be touching up on these two topics tonight as well, too. So shout out. I see Andre. I see you up in the space. Shout out to Andre, the haze of our live. What's up? What's up? What's up? We're going to be definitely getting in. For all my people that's coming in over there on YouTube, make sure y'all click that notification bell. Please click the notification bell, because trust me when I say YouTube will not send out those notifications. So definitely go ahead and click that notification bell. Make sure you go ahead and like tonight's broadcast. Share it as well, too. Leave a comment for those that can. Do all of that again. Make sure you support us on Newstoter.com. Newstoter.com is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today. Make sure you visit Newstoter.com right after the actual broadcast. Whenever you leave, go to the actual site and visit Newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking Black news. And for those that can, support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter is the actual Cash App. And guys, we're going to be talking about, like I said, we're going to be talking about two topics tonight, one in entertainment, one in politics. So we're going to go ahead and try to touch up on a number of things. And I'm glad to have everybody that's coming up in the space right now. I see the fellas over there. They're in the X space. So shout out to all you guys that's over there. Make sure y'all go ahead and retweet the space out as well, too. Retweet the space out. I see Brother Moku's up here as well, too. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to touch up real quick on these articles, and we can go ahead and start getting this discussion rolling. Shout out to Brother Ray. Brother Ray, what's up with you as well, too? This is from Hip Hop DX, a curation partner on the actual website, Newstoter.com. Killer Mike breaks silence on Grammys arrest. We hit a speed bump. It's up in the Jumbotron for those that's on X, and it's also in the description. Both of the articles are not in the description on YouTube. Killer Mike made headlines on Grammy night, but not just for the trio of wins, as it was also because he got arrested for an alleged altercation with a security guard. Many observers wondered what happened and wanted Mike to weigh in, and on Monday morning, February 5th, he finally did. The Michael rapper called into the Big Ticket Show to share his take, although his only acknowledgement of the incident was oblique. Mike was otherwise reluctant to address the incident during the interview, preferring instead to concentrate on his victories, such as Best Rap Album for Michael, a win he said he really coveted, and Best Rap Song and Best Rap Performance for Scientists and Engineers. 3 Grammys, 20 years in the game, 48 years old, he said of himself. Beat out everybody in the thing. He beat the best out of the best. So all you can say is he's one of the best. The best album in the 50th year of hip-hop came from Atlanta, Georgia, from a man who will be 50 years old in 3 years. Killer Mike's last Grammy victory came 21 years ago when Outkast, The Whole World, on which he featured, won Best Rap Performance by a duo or group. According to TMZ, Mike's trouble at the Grammys this year began when he allegedly got into a physical altercation with a security guard. The outlet claimed that Mike knocked down a security guard for not moving out his way. While the video of the incident does not include evidence of Mike knocking down anybody, it does show the Run the Jewels rapper facing off with a number of security personnel. In the video of Mike being led away by police, one bystander could be heard shouting, "Free Mike." According to Los Angeles Sheriff's Department records, Mike was arrested at 3:20 p.m. Pacific time and booked about 4 hours later. He was released on his own reconnaissance and has a court date set for February 29th. Shout out to everybody coming up into space. What's up, No Taxation? What's up with you, No Taxation? What's up with you, Ishmael? How you guys doing tonight? We're touching up on the Killer Mike situation last night at the Grammys, and we're also going to talk about the situation going on with Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Let me go ahead and touch up on that real quick. Once I touch up on that, guys, feel free to jump in and touch up on any topic as always. And we got my man Original. He's up here as one of the co-hosts tonight as well, too. So we got Original and living up in Atlanta. So he's going to share his thoughts because both of these people tonight we're speaking on are from Atlanta. So Great to have him up in here. This is from the Atlanta Voice, curator on the Newstoter.com platform. Breaking news: ice is cold, water is wet, and Fani Willis' relationships have nothing to do with her job as DA. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Williams and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade recently made public their relationship. In other news, water is wet, ice is cold, and the earth is round. In other words, big deal. The personal relationship between a pair of consenting adults is much. Breaking news is finding out the Atlanta Falcons won't be partaking in the Super Bowl next week in Las Vegas. It's a nothing burger with fries. Willis hired Wade while dating him. Smart? No. Unethical? Slightly, yes. Illegal? Not one bit. The January 2nd, 2021 phone call that a certain former president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, made to the current Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, was, however, quite dumb, unethical, and illegal. The allegations made by Michael Roman, a former Trump staffer from 2017 to 2018, that Willis had or is having what he referred to in the complaint he filed as an improper relationship with Wade. Whether or not the relationship was improper is a matter of opinion. That should not distract anyone, especially Willis, the first Black female district attorney in the history of Fulton County, the largest county in the state of Georgia, from doing a job as prosecutor. Trump, Roman, and 17 others who face charges for election fraud should have to pay for their crimes the same way any of us would if we were dumb enough to make that phone call to Raffensperger, for example. This past Friday, I recently spent an hour on the radio in Chicago, WVON 1690 AM to be more specific, doing the Matt McGill Show, which was hosted by former Illinois State Representative Ken Duncan. In McGill's absence, I explained my thoughts on Willis, Wade, and the allegations. Duncan and I took calls from interested listeners. Some thought Willis should remove herself from the case, while others thought that the relationship had nothing to do with the facts of the case against Trump and others. The final caller we took during my time on the show, let's call him Mitch, said there was a clear conflict of interest and that Willis should remove herself from the prosecution team. I made a futile attempt to explain to Mitch that an example of a conflict of interest might be a lawyer prosecuting his or her husband or wife, or a doctor operating on one of his children. Mitch didn't buy it. He said I was choosing a side and I sounded biased. I further explained that journalists are unbiased in their reporting. As the editor-in-chief of the only print Black-owned newspaper in Atlanta, I could not afford to jeopardize my position as a truth teller. After Mitch's call was done and my time on the radio show was over, I took a moment to think about what he said. His expectations for the Fulton County District Attorney prosecuting a case against a former United States president were high, and he believes she might have ruined the case because of a relationship with a member of her prosecution team. I agree with Mitch that the relationship could have waited, but that still doesn't make it illegal or reason enough to step away from what is arguably the most high-profile case in the country. Rocks are hard, fire is hot. The Falcons didn't make the playoffs. Nothing to see here, people. Don't allow distractions to muddy legal waters. Trump will have his day in court in Fulton County. Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, and the rest of the special prosecution team will be there to do their jobs. Shout out to you guys coming up in the space tonight. Shout out to you guys. If you missed it, I just talked about just covered the actual situation last night with rapper Killer Mike. Killer Mike had a career moment at the Grammys. He was able to do a clean sweep. He got 3 awards, but at the same time, it circulated last night. We started seeing him leaving the actual award show handcuffed. So, that made the rounds, and that actually overshadowed the accomplishment that he had in terms of the actual the awards that he actually won. And for you guys just coming in here, you just heard me covering the situation, the quote-unquote love triangle with Fani Willis, District Attorney, Fulton County. Some folks think that she should remove herself from the case, while other people say, well, you know what? It doesn't have one thing to do with another. So here we are tonight, and I'm glad that you guys decided to tune in and join us. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. I'm going to go to a brother that I know. He's from, like I say, he's from Atlanta, Mr. Original. So I want to hear Original. I know you're not a huge rap fan. I know you're not a huge Killer Mike fan, but what were your thoughts on seeing him arrested last night, handcuffed? He had just won the awards at the Grammys. He's been handcuffed. He's been led away, and that became, and what you could say, this is like maybe the second time in about 3-4 years that at one of these major award shows going back to the slap with Will Smith and Chris Rock, that, you know, in a night that was supposed to, you know, highlight a person, their achievement, it kind of was overshadowed by something else. What were your personal thoughts about that situation, original, when you saw him? And feel free to touch up on this and Fani Willis situation as well, too. The like I say, the quote unquote love triangle. Let me get you first. I want to hear what you think about the situation with Killer Mike and everything that's going on with him right now, point in time. He didn't really touch up on exactly what happened. Um, we heard it was some kind of altercation with security guards. That wasn't caught on camera. The only thing we saw was him being handcuffed. And we really don't know much about it right now. He's been kind of quiet about it, which, you know, I don't blame him. That, you know, his lawyers may have told him not to say too much, but just real quick, if we could get your insight on that situation. Anybody else that's in the listener section as well, too, definitely feel free to come on up here and speak. Definitely feel free to come on up here and speak. But what's going on with you tonight, Original?
Hey, greetings, peace, black power, and lineage based preparation. Well, the issue with Killer Mike, I really didn't, because I didn't watch the Grammys last night, but I know he's somewhat praised around town, but he seems to be somewhat of a Democratic shield. And like he has made a statement some years ago stating that all black people need one good white friend for whatever reason. I don't know why, you know, but I've never known him to, conduct himself in that way. So someone told me that I guess it was a security guard and he roughed him up or whatever. So I really didn't. I didn't put a great deal of emphasis on, trying to see what was going on with him. Because
you sound a little muffled, Original. You
hold on. Okay, what about now?
You sound a little bit clearer now.
Okay, sorry about that. But no, because see, what he kind of does is that he wants to play around in politics here in Atlanta, and then he's one of those people whereby he want to convince, the black community to go out and support the Democratic Party, and they without making any concessions to us. And so he speaks out on stuff that just like when Monique was going through her issue, he was on tape saying that she should have taken the money or whatever, But so he's kind of I don't know. He's kind of like I guess for lack of a better phrase, a shield. Because remember, about a year or so ago, he went before the Atlanta City Council when the City Council they was going to vote to basically close out these black businesses where they say that they were crime and this, that, and whatever. And then he told them, he said, well, you all come to us to get people out to vote. And he said, if you do this, then, don't come to us. And then they change their mind. So it's kind of like this kind of cat and mouse thing that they have going on with one another here, whereby, that's what goes on here. But as far as like being I don't really follow him to that extent because, like I said, I just see him as being a Democratic shield, convincing black people to vote, but they never make any concessions until it hit him when they was going to close those businesses, until it was going to hit him. Then he had something, to say, and whereby he was trying to make sure that these businesses didn't close. So as far as the masses goes, he's like not there. It's like he would. Someone else had said something, but he'll promote like he said he had. I was just talking to someone just a few hours ago, but they said something to the effect that someone in his family was a police officer, and I
think it's his dad.
Okay, he would make overtures about the police, where the police got to go home to their families and this, that, and whatever, but they still treat black people like crap, So I don't really, go along with that. And then as far as Fani Willis, that right there in itself, I mean, of all the people bringing forth a complaint, the Republicans, who are basically the most morally bankrupt people on the planet, if you ask me. Now, what she did, I talked to someone. They said that she didn't start dating the guy until after she had hired him or whatever. But there were, but I don't know when she hired him. But I talked to someone yesterday, and they said that I think she was paying him like $650,000. So he was going through a divorce. And then they said, I think it was the wife said, well, wait a minute, you're getting all this money. We're going to have to renegotiate this thing. And so I think part of that may have come from the wife wanting more money, that he was going to make, over $500,000 doing this case. And she wanted some more, and she wanted some of that money. And so, but yeah, because I have a family member that works. I haven't talked to them yet, but I have a family member that works in that DA's office. So, because I know I was looking to, if they had sent me, I don't think they've sent out jury notices yet, but I know that if you have a family member that works in that office, you can't, be on that jury. So I was like, if they send me this, I won't be able to serve on that jury. But yeah, I think she could have worked this differently, because, and sometimes I look at this stuff, it seems somewhat orchestrated. Because if you're supposed to be so smart and you know who you're dealing with, why would you go and hire someone that you're having a relationship with, whether it's sexual or whatever? Why would you go and hire that person? That right there in itself doesn't make any sense, because it shows her, her lack of integrity somewhat. But not to say that, now, I ain't giving the Republican really credit, because they just aspire and low down speak. So I don't give them any credit. So, but that's what someone was sharing with me yesterday, that that I think she was paying him, I think, like $600,000, and then the wife the soon-to-be ex-wife caught hold of it and decided that she wanted some of that money. If you get broke off like that, then we got to renegotiate this divorce settlement. And so that's primarily basically it. But I still think she should have known better than to do that, knowing who she was dealing with. And it does make her look somewhat, it does shine a little bit of a negative light. But considering who's filing the complaint, I don't see anything being negative, because they don't have any, they're morally bankrupt and they don't have anything to stand on. And I'll let someone else talk.
Appreciate that, Original. Let me ask you real quick. Do you think she should excuse herself from the case?
No, I don't really think she should excuse herself from the case, because the Republicans do the same thing. See, the Republicans have like a double. They want to have a double-edged sword, and they want to do. I mean, hell, look at what they do with Donald Trump. I mean, all the morally bankrupt things that he has done, but they are still backing him. Hell, they're even saying that their gods Donald Trump to them. And you look at how he's cheated on everybody he's been married to. Who knows what else he has done? He's connected to what's the guy named Pedophile Island.
You still a little mumbled, Original.
What's all like that? He's connected to that Jeffrey Epstein in that Pedophile Island. And you know what they say? People of like ilk hang out with each other. I can't remember the exact term, but no, I don't think, considering who's filing a complaint, no, I don't think she should have to step down, because the people that she's dealing with, like I said, they are morally bankrupt. So no, I don't think that's warranted. But if she does, I hope there are other people that she has in place that would be able to go in there and fight as vigorously as she would fight. But I was shocked that she charged him under the RICO Act. But I know she's known to go after black folks under the RICO Act. And see, she's backed by the police department. There was a guy who was shot in the back by the police. And so she did not want to take that case on because the police are one of the reasons why she was elected. I didn't vote for her. I didn't bother to vote for her when she ran for DA because her and the guy that she beat, both of them technically don't give a damn about black because the guy that she beat, he was in office when the 93-year-old grandmother the police broke in her house and killed her, and then staged it saying that she was selling drugs, and they tried to get an informant to say he bought drugs from her. But then when the people came out and said, Miss Catherine don't buy no drugs, Miss Catherine don't come outside, and Miss Catherine don't have no company. And they did an investigation. But see, here's how they do. When those police officers were charged and they was found guilty, he gave them concurrent sentences versus consecutive, so they're not really going to serve any time. So that's how that's the game that they run down here. But when it's black folks, they're going to give you consecutive sentences, so they're going to make sure that you serve some time. And she is no different. Because I know an individual who got caught up back in the 90s, and they went through an aversion program, and this is the guy that she beat was in office, but they never filed the paperwork with the state showing that his record should be expunged. So he goes and tries to buy some guns, and it come back that this is on his record, and he had to fight like hell. It started when he beat with an officer, and even while he had to fight like hell to get them to file the paperwork. That's what they do to That's what they do to black people. But there has been instances whereby a white person wasn't supposed to own a gun, and they never filed the paperwork because their rights to own a gun have been, severed or canceled or whatever. But that's how they roll down here, because people call this the black Mecca. This is not a black Mecca. These black folks don't run a damn thing in this city. Whatever the white folks tell them to do, that they do. So, and I'm gonna land let someone else come in and talk.
All right, appreciate that, Original. I'm gonna read a comment real quick that Nat Turner he put on. He said he's making party arguments. Fani was sleeping with a married dude that she overpaid to be a lead. When she has experts he's overseeing. His wife wasn't working, and him cheating is the reason for the divorce. Basically, the dude was hiding money that his boss was paying. I saw people mentioning that, saying that, something like you said, Original, he was getting paid over $600,000 and stuff. And then, of course, quickly it became that, hey, not only was he getting that money, but he was also spending that money on her as well, too. Now, I don't know the proof behind it, anything like that, but, I've been hearing people saying that. I don't know how real that is, how true that is, but, of course, people, they start mentioning that. They start saying something like that as well, too. So I don't know. Apparently, I think they've been seeing each other. They started seeing each other maybe a couple years ago, back in 2022, I believe. So they've had a relationship going on for a little minute, a hot minute or whatever. Now, I know that the guy is supposed to be, I believe he's supposed to be separated from his wife, at the time of them actually getting involved. I assume he was, because I don't know the entire details. I'm not sure if he was separated then or the separation came shortly after the actual involvement or whatever. So, it's a very delicate situation. I think a lot of people feel like, hey, they have Trump right where they want him, and that this could potentially, I guess, potentially sway the case or whatever, even though she's not the actual lead prosecutor. But the fact of the matter, trying to say, hey, you know what, it's a system of corruption, even though they're trying to get Trump and his people for corruption themselves as well, too. So it is a very fascinating situation that's going on right now, with the money and everything that's going on. This case is going to be one of the most high profile, maybe the most high profile case in the actual country. A lot rides on it as well, too, for Trump's political future as well, too. So it's something that everybody's keeping an eye on at this point in time. I sent a couple invites for people to speak up in the space. You guys, if you get a chance, I know some of y'all are just chilling right now, but if you get a chance, I sent a couple invites just to hear with some of the actual space and our normals. Got to say, let me give a shout out real quick to Miss Goddess Michelle as well too. I'm not sure if she's in the actual space, but shout out to that sister for always supporting. The thing with I'm gonna hop back real quick on
Let me share this with you.
Go ahead.
The guy who is the lieutenant governor. See, one of the reasons that they want her out. See, the guy who is the lieutenant governor, he was a part of that fake elector scheme, and so he had been fighting because the guy who ran for, I think he was attorney general or something like that, because she donated money to his campaign, and he's trying to say that's a conflict of interest. They are trying. I mean, the Republicans are fighting because they know that what they did and what they are doing is wrong, and they don't want to, and they're trying to avoid being prosecuted. What they're trying to kill, cancel their prosecution. But like I said, they are complaining and they're doing this stuff because of Donald Trump, and they just morally bankrupt as it is. But yet this guy, because like I said, there's another issue with that lieutenant governor who was part of that. Because see, they got caught. There was a reporter that was in the Capitol, and he saw them holding a meeting. He knew something. He knew something. He's a reporter that he works at the Capitol all the time. So he kind of went into the room and he saw what they was doing, and then he reported on it. And that's how they got caught with those fake electors here in Georgia. And they still sent that stuff to. They signed it and sent it to to Washington, saying that they were the electors for Georgia, and they know that was wrong because they signed it under penalty of perjury. So there's a number of other things that's going on too, but it's being pushed by the Republicans because they have broken the law here in Georgia in our land.
Well, yeah, we know they're pushing because they want to go ahead and get Trump. They don't want this to weigh down his potential re-election bid. So they definitely want to go ahead and put this stuff behind him as much as possible as well too. By a show of hands up in here, anybody, if you guys think that that Fani Willis should go ahead and step down, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you think she should step down, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you don't feel that way, you don't have to put anything. But I just want to see who in the space actually thinks she should actually step down from her position because of, the actual relationship and everything else that's going on. So I don't see anybody saying a thumbs down. So I think most people in the space feel like, hey, she's fine, that she doesn't she doesn't need to step down. I don't, I don't really, like I say, I don't know enough about the actual relationship and everything going into it or whatever. I don't really see how her, appointing this guy here, Wade, how it's going to really interfere with the actual prosecution of Donald Trump. But I can understand people that feel like, hey, it may be, because when she was, correct me if I'm wrong, original, but when she was, they had the rapper there, who the rapper they hit with the RICO case. Is it Young Thug they hit with the RICO case?
Yes, Young Thug.
Wasn't they trying to, back then when they hit Young Thug with the RICO case, didn't it come out then that people were saying that, well, people tried to say that she was having a relationship with somebody then. Now, I don't know if they were trying to say somebody with Young Thug people or whatever, but they were trying to throw out there that she was having a relationship with somebody right then and there, whatever, that people was trying to shoot down, like, oh no, that's not true. So I remember them. I can't exactly remember who they tried to connect her with, but they were trying to say that she was having a relationship then.
Yeah, that was done too, via the Republican Party as well. That was done. But I can't think, I'm like you, I can't think of the guy's name because I don't follow them like that. But yeah, it was some guy that was connected to Young Thug. They claimed that she had invited him out somewhere and this, that, and whatever. And that's why I tell people, when you start seeing stuff, I mean, not that I'm a big supporter of the Democrats, but when you start seeing stuff coming from the Republicans, always question, because they are known liars and deceivers, and they will and especially when it comes to black folks, they are known to want to throw some stuff out there like that, and they try to see. Just like remember when our dear sister, Mrs. Shirley Sherrod, when they claimed that she was a racist against white people, that said that she tried to prevent this guy from saving his farm, and they put that lie out there. Old Roland Martin came out trying to drag sister down, and then so what it was is that she said that she could have done that, but she didn't do it. And then when the guy came out and said if it wasn't for her, he would have lost his farm. See, they took the video and they chopped it up to make it fit what they wanted to fit. But see, and she had to go after Roland Martin on CNN because he's supposed to be a journalist, and he's supposed to know that the Republicans, they are known liars. But he went along with that, and so they offer her another position, but she wouldn't take it because she knew that they were trying to set her up. So that's why I say anything come from the Republicans, you already know they lying, and I land.
Appreciate it. Let me read a comment real quick. Nat, he left another comment. He says, I get the bad motives on the Republicans, but this is a dirty game with dirty rules. Can't complain about the rules after you've already suited up. Got to keep your jersey clean. She turned an eye on that cop that offered the brother and went gung-ho on rappers with RICO charges. Okay, Scar the Poet says, didn't Hillary Clinton say that the 2016 election was rigged? You know, a lot of these elections are rigged, so I'm definitely not saying that, you know, it might not have been some funny business. I believe a lot of times there's some kind of funny business going on with even quote unquote the most ethical elections. I mean, because you just have a lot of too many people with hands on ballots and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that that's not a possibility. We've, you know, back from the time that you had the situation with John F. Kennedy and what was it in Chicago back in the 60s when he became president, you know, there were people that expressed concerns about how legitimate that was up there in that area as well too. So you've always had people talk about the elections. I can tell you here in Florida in 2000, where it looked like Al Gore had initially election night was declared the winner of Florida. Now, had Al Gore been actually the winner of Florida, he would have actually won the 2000 election. Then they came back about 15, 20 minutes later and said, okay, well, no, we made a mistake that it hasn't been decided yet. Next thing you know, George W. Bush had actually been declared the winner of Florida, and Florida solidified the victory for George W. Bush. Al Gore, he contested it for a little while before he finally gave up. But here in Florida, a whole bunch of people to this day believe that Al Gore actually defeated George W. Bush and should have been the actual president of the United States. So when it comes to these elections, we know that there's a lot of shady things that go along. And I'm not saying that, you know, Hillary Clinton, especially when you lose. Hillary Clinton, she felt that she got gypped in 2016. Trump felt like he got gypped in 2020. So you're going to always have people that feel like, hey, you know, I was the rightful winner and I didn't get my fair shake. I'm not saying that, but you know, she like I say, she's in a precarious situation right now. You got the RICO thing, and she does stick RICOs on people left and right too. Like I mean,
oh yeah, man. She now don't forget. Like I say, I'm not totally defending her, but like I said, but I know the game the Republicans play, and they try to act like they're these like Christians or whatever, and they're nothing like that. Because see, she's the one now. When Paul Howard was the DA, she was like an assistant DA. She is the DA that went after those teachers, and they were black teachers claiming that they were cheating and all of that. And see now here's the issue. In other counties here in Georgia, that same thing went down, but nobody was charged, nobody went to jail, they wasn't dragged through a trial. But for whatever reason, here in Atlanta, these black folks who don't run a damn thing, they will go after other black folks and just take them down to the lowest to the lowest common denominator that they can to show that to show the white people that they can be trusted. You see, and so this is what's going to be key and critical is how many of these white people in the background that will really, support her. That's what's going to be key and critical with this, because at the beginning and end of each day, these Democrats and Republicans, they work when it comes to us, they are united against us, and that's one thing that I see that a lot of black people in this across the country don't want to understand. So yeah, she is that DA that prosecuted those teachers and sent some of them to jail. Some of them they took a plea bargain, and I think they lost their teaching certificates and this, that, and whatever. So that was her doing that, filing that RICO charge against them. But there has been some white folks, I think there has been some white folks that did not get that RICO. But like I said, when they do stuff, especially the police, like I said, the guy that who the police shot in the back, she put it out for a special prosecutor to handle that case. And now, the police was wrong for shooting him in the back because he was running away. But at the same time, the guy, he should have just went ahead and allowed himself to be arrested or whatever, So, but still, the police should not have shot him in the back. But she opted out because she did not want to prosecute those police officers that shot him in the back. So, like I say, that's how they roll here in Atlanta. Trust me, black folks don't have any power. They don't do anything. They go along with anything these white folks tell them to do. It's like primarily now, they will vehemently fight for basically the gay white community and the illegal aliens. They're not doing anything for black folks. And that's why I quit voting for them in our land.
Thank you, Original. I definitely want to hear what some because I know a lot of people in the space, they may not be Republicans per se, even though they may have a conservative mindset, but we have any Republicans in here as well too. I want to get you guys' opinion on the situation with Fani Willis as well too. Feel free, anybody to come up here. You want to speak about Killer Mike's situation? The thing I find so crazy about the Killer Mike situation is that, like, he was arrested, he was handcuffed or whatever. There's no video surfacing around about exactly what he did. You hear about he got into some kind of altercation with security or whatever. I've heard people talk about that he pushed somebody down or whatever, but is this just a he said type thing or whatever? Was there any witnesses that he did anything or whatever? I just find it odd that on the night, like I said, on the night with the Grammys and everything else, with him sweeping and this and that or whatever, he ends up getting arrested. I'm still trying to kind of reach you're just trying to grasp that. It just seems strange to me. It just seems weird. Like, we couldn't wait till after the Grammys or whatever. He's handcuffed. Everybody sees it or whatever. I just don't understand that situation at all. Like, why exactly did that transpire the way it did? It just seemed completely off. Just something didn't seem right. I don't know what it was about it, but something just seemed strange to me. His biggest night, and I've never, I've listened to some of Killer Mike's music. I was never a huge Killer Mike fan, anything like that. I always know he's with the Dungeon family, and I always, the Outkast connection. Outkast is my group, coming up and whatnot. But I wasn't into Killer Mike's music like that. Not that I have anything against his music. I think he's a pretty good rapper. But he's, like you said, he's almost 50 years age. I think he's 48. This was like his crowning achievement. This was his big night, and really, when you think about it, somebody at his age as well too. Rarely do you see somebody almost pushing 50 years old in rap, win in these categories like that. That's really unheard of. You don't see unless you you maybe Jay-Z or somebody like that. You don't see a whole lot of 40-year-olds racking up, and they may win a award here or award there, but they're not racking up. I mean, he won best rap album, best rap song, best rap performance. I mean, he was 3 for 3. He did the Triple Crown. And for this situation to happen like that, to me, I don't know. I'm not trying to say that I'm not trying to come up with some crazy some crazy just crazy thing or whatever. But it just I don't know. It just seemed like, I don't know. It just, when I saw the actual video and everything else, I'm not trying to throw the conspiracy thing out there, but I just didn't understand, like, why we couldn't do this after the award show. Was it that serious? Was a person hurt that bad allegedly? Because it had to be something if you're gonna handcuff him or whatever. Was it that serious to the point that it couldn't have waited afterwards? He couldn't even turn himself in and came. I'm sure he couldn't have turned himself in and went to the police department or whatever. Like, I mean, I just find that situation really, really odd. See my girl Trouble up here. Trouble, what's going on? Unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter. Shout out to you, DJ and Original. How's everybody doing?
Hey, what's up?
Not a whole lot. I just pulled over to the side right quick. Original pretty much said everything that I was thinking of, and I don't have a whole lot to add after that, because everything Original stated was 100% on point, and I feel exactly the same way. Newstoter, you just came and rounded it up as far as the Killer Mike thing. I'd seen somebody white report on it, and Community Notes hit them just that quick by saying that, because the people was like, well, he got arrested for hitting somebody inside of, behind the stage. And so somebody in Community Notes came on and said, no, there was an incident that took place before the Grammys, and they named the block or whatever that it happened on, where he had got into an altercation with somebody, and I guess maybe put hands on them or shoved them or anything of that nature. But I feel the same way that you did. They perp walked that brother to embarrass him, and he was shooted and booted. It could have waited. It didn't really feel like a situation, and I thought it was fake at first. I thought it was part of his little thing at first. Because he was smiling during the video. So I was like, what's going on here? Has he really been arrested? But, they didn't have to handcuff the brother. There's been plenty of times we've seen them go and arrest somebody or detain them or whatever the case is. And they weren't handcuffed. But he's a big black man, and we fear for our lives, and this Negro might get out. I don't know, but it just felt like they went out of their way to embarrass him, and that's what I didn't like. A lot of people have had a lot of conspiracies and feel a little bit split over the Killer Mike situation because of his connection with the politics of the nation in Atlanta, as far as him being behind Keisha Lance Bottoms and Stacey Abrams. But I look at it like this here. We have our people in a precarious time right now, where we have some of us who are, spouting Democrat points, and we have some of us who are spouting hardcore Republican points. And what I'm not going to do is play this white man's game. I'm not going to play this white man's game where I'm going to cancel my people because you're politically confused over whether you want the white supremacists or the white nationalists. And really, that's what it's boiling down to. We don't know whether or not we want to have empathy for our own people, a situation that they're in, that we can look at and clearly say, oh, that's screwed up. We can't really, a lot of us aren't willing to even say how messed up it is, because we are playing this white man's game, and it's weird to me. It's weird to me that we don't see that this is not our game we're playing. We're playing somebody else's game, and it's a mind-boggling thing when we allow the white supremacists and the white nationalists to have us going back and forth with each other because of it. So that's just my feelings on that. I could look at individual situations with a person, whether I rock with them like that or not. Even if this was a Candace Owens, and I can't stand Candace Owens, but she does make some good points here and there, but even if I seen something that happened to her, or, like Omarosa with her weird self, I could look at it and say, from a black perspective, wow, that's messed up. They're only doing this because, and if it was another race of a person, it wouldn't have happened to this sister or brother in that particular way, and still not mess with you. But I could look at it and still say that that's messed up. I don't have to be, feel too many ways after it, but, just clarity on the situation is necessary. Fani Willis, or Willis, whatever the child name is, I don't care who she get her coochie cat to. It does speak to her integrity. Now, if we're asking about how we feel about her as far as her affair situation, then the conversation for me is going to be a little bit different than how I feel about her as the prosecutor in the case. You know, who she give her thing to, you know what I'm saying? That's her business, and the evidence is the evidence, and it's going to be the evidence whether she popping it, dropping it, slopping it, mopping it like it's hot all over the place. The evidence is the evidence. So no, she shouldn't step down. They didn't ask Marjorie Taylor Greene to step down. They didn't ask the other little white girl with the glasses on that was giving somebody the hand job in the theater. They didn't ask her to step down. Trump told you he'd be grabbing the cootie. You know, I grab a handful. They'll let you do it. He got a case where the woman just win like $81 million or $83 million or something like that because he slid up in the punasha. You know, so everybody still want him. You know, even a lot of us still want him. You know, not me. I don't want none of them. But, you know, if one thing has nothing to do with the other, I don't want her to step down. But I will say, Original was right. And I think it was Nat in the comments that was right, too. You know what kind of game that is being played. You know that we can't do what they do. You should have kept your coochie in your pants for a little while, honey. Because you do have a big spotlight on you right now. They've been spotlighting on you for the longest period of time. You cannot get away with what they get away with. And we know this. But for some reason, we have arrived when we get into certain positions and start feeling like, you know, you could do what they do. You could get away with it. You swigging and swagging all over the place. And you can't. Because they're going to look for any and everything that they can to throw at you when you're coming for their people. As long as you coming for your own people, you're going to be the creme de la creme. They're going to sing your praises. And the moment you come after one of theirs, they getting ready to throw you under the bus, back that bad boy up over you, come forward and come back again. They're going to check and make sure, and then they're going to shoot you a couple of times. Poop, 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 just to make sure. Pew, pew, pew. They're going to get you. They're going to make sure they get you. They're going to drag you through the mud. They're going to throw all kind of conspiracy things out there. They're going to throw whatever they can at you because they know that people choose to believe what it is they want to believe, especially if it's the worst thing about you once they get an inclination. And once you get your own people against you because you use your people to get to a high level in your career, now you got your people looking at you funny. Once we start looking at you funny, then these white folks know that they can come through and throw whatever they want at you. And a lot of us not going to sit back and think about how Republicans are lying and bring us down. They're going to sit back and believe it because they want to. Because you did what you did to the teachers, the black teachers, when they're white folks in their cheating. You did what you did to Young Thug. You going after him, even though if you sit back and look at what they're saying the brother did, you would probably, if he's out here murking his own people, then he's sitting where he needs to be. But, you know, it's the politics of it. Oh, you know, free him. No, I don't want the worst of us free. You know, so there's that. And I'll land right there because I got people canceling me left and right all over the place because 2024, I ain't biting my damn tongue. And I don't care who don't like it and unfollow me from here on moving forward. But, you know, that's really just how I feel about it. She shouldn't drop out. She should do what she do. But if she does, you know, it is what it is. We gotta just learn that when we in these positions, you gotta keep it cute. You gotta stay on top of your P's and Q's. And at least if you're gonna do some debauchery like what she did, you know, you gotta be a little bit more smooth with it. You gotta go a little bit more undercover with it. You can't be paying people an absurd amount of money that's not justifiable. You got to be able to dot your I's and cross your T's and make it, you know, look legit, you know. So, and I'll land right there. Thank you, brother, for allowing me to come up here and rant a little something.
Thank you, Trouble.
Taylor.
Yes.
Let me share this with you, what Trouble was saying. See, I saw a news report that stated, Trouble and I saying the same thing about these Democrats and Republicans. See, one news report stated that she had reached out to the former governor of Georgia, Roy Barnes, but to me, he would not have been the right person to, for the job. Because I think he's like 70-something, maybe 80 years old, so he wouldn't be able to handle that case. And then there was another black guy that she reached out to prosecute the case. And I think both him and Roy did not want to take the case. They cited that they didn't want the MAGA people coming after them, which is, to me, let a MAGA show up at my house. You, if you walk up or drive up, you're gonna roll away on a stretcher, but you ain't even alive. You know, so that right there is playing. It's part of the scenario as well. You know, and see, and even like what Trouble was saying, like Roy Barnes. See, it was like maybe in the 2020, let me see, was it the 2016? I forget, one of the election cycles. We have a guy here. He's like the mayor of DeKalb County. What they call him the CEO, but it's like the mayor of DeKalb County. So he was running for U.S. Senate against this old racist Johnny Isaacson. See, I'm gonna show y'all how these people play, how they play. So Roy Barnes, who is a Democrat, and Michael Thurman, who is a Democrat. So Johnny Isaacson is a Republican. So someone asked Roy Barnes if who he was going to vote for, Michael Thurman or Johnny Isaacson. He was like, he said, I know Johnny. Johnny and I have been friends for a long time, but this black man who's running for the same seat is in your party. And so he could not come out and definitively say that he would vote for Michael Thurman. And that's when a lot of black folks say, you know what, screw you. We're not voting for you. And he lost. He lost because, see, that's how they play. Most of these the Republicans, they play together when it comes to black folks. They don't give a damn. They would rather see someone that looked like them in that position, and where they know they can still have access to whatever it is they think they need. But so I just want to share that to show just how Democrats and Republicans, how they support one another when it comes to us and our land.
Newstoter, can I say this here right quick because I'm about to drop down?
Go ahead. Yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, shout out to Killer Mike on those 3 coveted white people awards too. Cause everybody wants the white folks awards, but the only thing I'm happy about, because I don't watch the Grammys, I don't watch none of those award shows, but I'm just glad they gave it to a black American and not somebody like a Sassy Red or Nicki Minaj or some foreign black, because I know that they had originally said the Rapper of the Year or something like that award was supposed to go to Nicki, but they had said that it was a mistake and they had recalled it back and gave it to Killer Mike. So I found that to be funny because the Barbs was flipping out online for a minute, like Jay-Z did that. He called them people and he told them, he gave them a bag and made them take the award back from Nicki and give it to Killer Mike. But that was pretty hilarious. So shout out to that brother there for taking the awards where, they could have gave it to some degenerate off the block, and that's all.
Thank you, Trouble. And like I said, for him winning awards at the age he was at as well, too, that was big for him. So, I haven't watched the Grammys. Occasionally I'll, if we doing a space on like the BET Awards, the MTV Awards, I'll watch a few minutes of it. I'll watch a little bit of it just so I can have, have an idea exactly what was going on. But the Grammys, and I was never a huge Grammy Award winner anyways, because too often not black people got screwed on the actual awards and stuff like that. Especially when it came to the hip hop, it was always more of a commercial type person or somebody, that, normally the best rap albums were never ever winners. So I never was really a huge Grammy person like that. I'd watch it sometimes, but the way they go on about it, I just didn't feel like. My issue with it is, like I said, the whole thing with the Killer Mike situation, I felt that could have been handled differently. I felt like if Killer Mike, he didn't, apparently, if it had been that bad, they would have got him before he even went to the actual award. So they could have easily told Killer Mike, you know what, after the award show, you go ahead, you turn yourself in and this and that or whatever, but they wouldn't do that. So to me, and I think a lot of people, like you said, Trouble, touched up on it, At first, a lot of people thought it was like a stunt and stuff because, like, I had a number of people when we posted the video on there. It was like, yeah, like this is people were like, yeah, this is like it was performative and this is some kind of stunt or whatever, and this and that or whatever. And you just start seeing more people say, no, this is actually real. He was actually really, really arrested and stuff. So I feel like, hey, you could have went ahead, allowed the man to have his night, enjoy his success. You go ahead right afterwards, turn yourself in. I mean, it's not like he's wanted for murder, anything like that. He didn't do some heinous crime. Go ahead, let him turn himself in, and then you release him on his own recognizance anyway. So it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything worth, getting the cameras and making headlines for. So it was like it was just another way to me. I know people, and like I say, I'm not with the whole conspiracy thing. With a lot of stuff, but people like when people say rituals and stuff like that, and the way of embarrassing people, you kind of got to think a little bit like, yeah, that was they wanted to really bring embarrassment to this man right here. Like, yeah, we know you enjoyed yourself, we know you had a great night or whatever, but let's bring you back down a peck or two and let you know exactly where you are on this whole pecking order of things as well, too, Killer Mike. So I know a number of people, like Treble said, sometimes with black politicians, celebrities, whatever, entertainers, people sometimes they take a stand politically one side and people say, well, you know what, I don't like that person because they align with the Democrats or they align with the Republicans or they align with this person, that person, whatever. I know when you had the entire uprisings, and Atlanta was one city that really felt it down there as well too. And Killer Mike made a plea, made a plea to the people of Atlanta not to commit any violence or burn anything down and this and that. And he talked about being in a police family, and he talked about some things that a lot of people kind of looked sideways, because a lot of people at that time, they were fuming with everything that went on, and they were looking at him kind of sideways like, yeah, okay. They just put you up here to kind of trying to tame us or whatever. So I think you had some people that kind of felt a certain way about Killer Mike from that point. I don't know exactly all what Killer Mike does in the community as well too. So let me just go ahead and say that. But you had some people that felt a certain way about it, and I think they kind of been holding a little bit against Killer Mike from that time. But like I say, I myself, I just didn't find the need in that. I just didn't see the need in that. I didn't see the point of embarrassing the man, which to me was an embarrassment. You went ahead and you did that. Like I said, it wasn't to the point where he was a danger to society. I mean, come on, he wasn't armed and dangerous and proceed with caution, anything like that. The man was at a damn award show that that people, you were notified to know that he was at the award show, and you went ahead and you did that, which I thought was but was lowball. Dark Kid said it wasn't enough black viewership, so that was done to Killer Mike to get black folks' attention to talk about it the next day. Well, I mean, that I guess Dark Kent, that could be considered almost like one of the conspiracy things I'm talking about. Some people may feel that way, like, hey, this was a way of or some people say it was a distraction. It was another distraction because you got the Congress trying to find a way to go ahead and pump billions of dollars more into Israel and Ukraine as well too. So some people may say that was just a distraction to keep off of what's really going on as well too. So whatever it was, I thought it was just really tacky. It was really and it was done intentionally too. Make no mistake about it. This wasn't something by accident. They knew exactly how to get in touch with this man because I'm sure they already, had his number. I'm sure a complaint was filed or whatever. They knew exactly how to get in touch with him or whatever. And they did this intentionally, and that it was videotaped and it's seen around the world. The Grammys, everybody's talking about this around the world. And the biggest story from the Grammys wasn't his victory, wasn't Taylor Swift, it wasn't all other people who won and this and that or whatever. The biggest story that left the Grammys, just like you left the Oscars a few years ago with the slap with Will Smith and Chris Rock, the biggest thing that left was that, hey, Killer Mike, rap star, he just got arrested. He was handcuffed, and nobody knows exactly really why. Like Trouble said, was something beforehand, but that's what everybody's leaving it with. They're leaving the actual storyline behind, like I said, you had Taylor Swift, you had all these other people, you had Jay-Z up there talking about Beyonce, and you had all these other things that went down, but the actual main story of that Grammy Award was actually Killer Mike being arrested. That was everything that it went down to. Craig and them says Mike is a Democratic shield, and I believe this was a Democratic ploy, plain and simple. We talk about, as I said, like when people they gonna come with it, like everybody has like when that conspiracy stuff get running, boy, they go ahead like so. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really know exactly what it was. If it went so hard that they had to go ahead and put a ploy up there for him to actually be arrested or whatever, and that's supposed to move the masses, I think that's a sign of real desperation there. That if you have to use a rapper, an almost 50-year-old rapper, and he wins a couple of awards or a few awards, and then you got to go ahead and get him fake arrested, then I think that's truly a sign of desperation, and that as bad as the polls have been reflecting for this presidential election coming up this year, then you're really in bad shape. If that's what you got to use to go ahead and try to boost morale up amongst your voter base, then you're in serious trouble. You're in serious trouble. So if that's what it took, a ploy like that, then yeah, I mean, you may want to go ahead and pack it up right now, because that was not a good look. I'm sorry. That was just not a good look at all. And like I said, I'm not a huge Killer Mike fan in terms of his music. I've never bought into his music or whatever, but I felt that was uncalled for, totally uncalled for. See, we got a number of our people up in here. What's up, Rira? I see you up in here. What's up, Black Majority State? What's up, Shannon? What's up, Goddess? I gave you a shout out earlier. Thank you again for the contribution. No taxation. We're not going to keep this going open too much longer, guys. So we're trying to get whoever wants to come on up here and speak. Definitely come on up here and speak, because we're not going to keep the space going too much longer. I did want to touch up on these topics tonight. Fani Willis, that situation in the news about the whole Trump thing, and now with the Nathan Wade, that's been trending of late. So we wanted to go ahead and touch up on that. And of course, like I say, last night, the situation with Killer Mike at the Grammys, I definitely felt deserved to be covered as well too. What's up, DJ? I see you up in the space now.
What's up, family? Newstoter. Yeah, so shout out to everybody as usual. So I'll work it backwards, I guess. Fani Willis, Nathan Wade. Hey man, they too grown adults. Let them do what they gonna do. But I think what it really was that it was the ex-wife that blew it up out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? Because now she see that she paid him over what he was really worth as a smaller DA or whatever. You know what I mean? So you pay this man $100 over an hour versus the top prosecutor that's actually in the state, which is a older white dude who has the actual experience. He only gets paid half of what Nathan's getting paid. So it's like, what's up with that too? So you are showing some favoritism. You see what I'm saying? Other thing is too, they always saying the boule combs. You feel what I'm saying? To do the white folks' dirty work. Alvin Bragg is another one. I know. I mean, you spoke about that last night. So you got these white folks up here in New York running him down like, yo, why you ain't hold the migrants inside of a cell block until they was be able to go to court. Now they MIA. Nobody know where he at. I mean, know what they're at. So Alvin Bragg ain't even got nothing to say. You know what I mean? So yeah, good that it's happening to you, Fanny, in that way. But that's the game, because the moment y'all decide to go against white supremacy, knowing damn well you ain't never speak out for black people ever. You know what I'm saying? This is the repercussions of it. So it is what it is. So Killer Mike, this is sweep Atlanta. Stay mad. You know what I'm saying? That's all it really is. You know what I'm saying? Won 3 Grammys. You know what I'm saying? Whoever called the police on my boy, you's a hater. You know what I mean? Go get that album, Michael. You know what I'm saying? It's #1 in the country. You know what I mean? Jay-Z, you can say what you say, but you ain't gonna never win no Grammys, because you really the original Snake anyway. So you ain't gonna never win no Grammy. You can win that humanitarian lifetime award. Nobody care about that.
Didn't Jay-Z win Grammys before?
No.
He's been nominated a bunch of times.
Not for album of the year or anything. anything like that, right? You know what I'm saying?
Check back the 90 because I could have swore he won for Hard Knock Volume 2.
Matter of fact, he did win for Hard Knock Life, but I'm not sure if it was Grammy for Album of the Year though. You know what I'm saying? It might have been Hip Hop Album of the Year, but it wasn't Album of the Year.
No, he never won. No, he never won no Album of the Year. The only rapper that ever win to my knowledge to win Album of the Year was Lauryn Hill, and let's be for real, Lauryn Hill album was just as much was maybe more R&B than actually hip hop too. So
right, well, mixture hybrid of both. Shout out to Lauryn, Jersey in the building. But yeah, Killer Mike swept them up. You know what I mean? It's sweet. We going to the finals. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Benny might be going to jail. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, screw the Grammys too, because they ain't never really cared about supporting us. You know what I mean? Ever. We had to go through the wave of arguing with these people about them supporting the music we was doing. But they took the music of old and started doing it themselves when they used to call it devil music, jazz, all this other stuff. So we really need our own award shows. Who cares if the white award shows, Grammys, Oscars, whatever it is they're doing, which, as a matter of fact, the Grammys, right, is the whole reason why I came up with you to speak about them jokers. The Grammys are the Recording Institute Association of America, the Recording Academy. That's who run the Grammys. So with that being said, these are the same people that ostracize musicians like me, trying to get streams and numbers and all this stuff. They're the ones who dictate the price of what a stream is worth. So screw them too. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what happened at the Grammys. Killer Mike swept up. Just mad. I had to find a way to lock him up. And I also think they locked him up too for Killer Mike said, because hey, this is how the universe works, and they'll backfire. Yeah, they can't tell me I can't do this, I can't do that, and you better not say you can't do this, you can't do that. So that's another reason why they slapped the cuffs on them. And that's a big joke. They had the double couple. You know what I'm saying? Like one cup on each hand, tied to a cup. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, hey, black folks, start your own record labels, sign them artists that's near your hood, Lil Jon and them, and the homies, Lil Jon and the homies. You know what I'm saying? Sign them, promote them, big them up. You reap the awards and the benefits and all this other stuff instead of letting these Jewish record labels, because that's what they are. You know what I'm saying? Sign our people, put insurance on our people, turn around, get them up out of here, and claim that insurance check while they leave their mother, father, family with nothing. Go ahead, go.
Hey, real talk. I mean, that's why the Grammys. That's why you had Soul Train. You had the Soul Train Music Awards. That really was, like the black version of the Grammys. You had your own categories and everything else, and you actually the actual hottest artists and stuff actually won and stuff like that. So yeah, that was one reason Soul Train Awards, and it's not what it used to be, because Soul Train Awards used to be huge, but you actually had a realistic chance if you were the best, or you were the hottest person in your genre that year, be it R&B, soul, hip hop, or whatever. You actually, when you went to the Soul Train Awards, you were actually going to get that respect, and you're going to actually probably win more than likely. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, so that's another thing that we could tie into this argument, considering Killer Mike got arrested at the Grammys. So I also believe that's another reason they took our brother Don Cornelius out of the way, because he really had that stuff on Smash. You feel what I'm saying? He had the talent coming through. He had the dancers from all races. You feel what I'm saying? On Soul Train for years. Now we got to get this stuff all out of the way. Nobody was watching the Grammys and none of that other stuff because they weren't supporting us.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with the dances now. It was actually better when I look at the old clips. Actually, dances was better in the 70s than they actually were in the 80s and the 90s. If I'm gonna be honest, they were actually they were getting it more, and I think they got a little bit. They got a little bit too cute over time, especially in the 80s. And I remember the little Chinese girl used to always have up there dancing in the 80s and stuff. But the 70s, they was about that business. The 80s and the 90s, they started getting a little bit too cute for my taste.
Well, eventually, like any business, you have to grow. So you need them white dollars. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Don Cornelius understood that he was a businessman. You know what I mean? So but we still keeping it black though. You know what I mean? So for him to have to wake up one morning, there's a newscast of him committing suicide. I don't think so. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk, real talk. That was definitely a tragedy to hear that too as well. Anybody else wants to come up here and speak? Because we're gonna get ready to close this thing out for the night. We're not gonna have a long space. So if anybody wants to go ahead and speak, let me know right now. Raise your hand. If not, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna shut it down for the night, and we'll be back either tomorrow or Wednesday night. So everybody have a good night, be safe, and we'll see you guys then. Peace.